Welcome back. Junkies come to you live from the Monumental Sports and Entertainment Center here in D.C. Wes Unseld Jr. joining us. Should mention, home opener is on Saturday. Prior to tip-off, the Wizards have a pregame block party at District E. That's powered by Ticketmaster. That's 5:30 to 6:30. Fans can enjoy photo booths, a meet and greet with Wizards alums like Michael Adams and Harvey Grant.
Wow.
Got a live performance from Jay Addo. I'm not familiar with him. He's a DMV-based artist. They've got a DJ. They got the Wizards dancers. First 100 fans attending the block party receive a Wizards pullover, as well as a gift card to the team store. So it should be a good time. Get there. Plus district bites, appetizers, everybody getting geared up for the opener, the home opener. You guys already had the road opener. What's up, Coach?
How are you?
What's up, Coach?
I'm doing all right.
Morning.
All right, I'll just lead. I don't want to lead the witness. What did you make of the first game?
I
I can tell you what we made of it as fans, but
Not our best effort. I think we let our offense dictate a little bit of our defense. Scored enough to win the game. We scored 120 points. There were some good moments, but our overall defensive disposition wasn't quite up to par. You're going to have those nights, but we didn't help ourselves. The transition defense, and some of that was predicated on our offense, the turnovers. But, we got to have a little bit more, awareness, urgency, especially on that end, especially against a team that really thrives in those areas.
I think I've asked you this before. So for those of us that watch a show like Hard Knocks, and I think it's just more familiar on the NFL side, film sessions.
Oh, they're fun.
What is a basketball film session like? Do you have a theater room set up?
Yes.
Do you just stop every play? Do you grill the players? Like, how does it work?
Or your laser pointer.
Like when you're saying,
Gotta
hey,
have a laser
we
pointer,
gave up
right?
over 70 points in the first half. Are you going through each possession?
There is a little bit of a flow, cadence to it. So there's some days, yeah, absolutely. We'll go through every single issue. There's times you'll theme a bunch of clips together. If it's pick and roll, transition, if it's lack of communication, try to find a common theme. You always want to end it with a few positives, because there always are. But, no, those are very deliberate. Sometimes you're in there 30, 40 minutes, but the message
And did you do that after every game?
Just about, yeah.
You go through every
In some
game.
capacity.
And then you've got to be irritated when you're showing them the same stuff. Right? I mean, it's got to make you crazy. Like, I would think I would lose my mind. I start screaming. Like, guys, I'm showing you this every day, like 20 plays every day. What's going on?
Oh, you got to keep
He
pushing
has
them.
been
You got to keep telling
ejected.
them.
He's been ejected as a coach from 8th grade basketball.
Sometimes I lose my temper.
I can tell.
Yeah.
No, but you know what? I think it's just you just got to keep hammering it. And eventually you hope it sticks. We got a lot of young guys. So, we look at this team. It's about 8 guys are new to this group. And then you factor in the youth of this group.
Right.
We're going to have to live through a lot of youthful mistakes.
Let me ask you this. And you, as a professional coach at this level, like I have 2 kids that play in college, and if a kid screws up in college, at least the schools where my kids go, they get yanked.
Right.
Like their butts are on the bench immediately.
Yeah.
When you see a guy not do what you just went over in film an hour ago, can you, at the professional level, because these guys are professionals,
Sure.
it is different.
Sure.
Can you say, no, he's sitting. We're not doing that anymore.
No, at times you can. I think you got to be strategic with it. You don't want guys to feel like they're playing on eggshells, where being
That's
judged
the other side of it, too.
every single possession.
Then your head's spinning and you got no confidence.
You want them to play with freedom and clarity.
Right.
Obviously, there's certain standards you want to uphold, but you got to understand the game's fluid, it's fast. There are going to be mistakes. So they got to understand what those mistakes are.
But if they make repeated mistakes,
oh, absolutely. Yeah.
they're done.
You got to make a change.
I will say, I do think it's probably harder to defend now than it was 20 years ago.
For sure.
Because the league now often, a lot of these teams will have 5 guys outside the three-point line.
Right.
And they're all quick. And, how do you defend them? If you back off, they're going to hit a 3 on you. If you get on, now there's space where guys can drive to the basket.
Yeah, well, to your point, you've seen the offensive efficiency across the league spike, and it tends to trend upwards every year. So, the spacing is one piece. The positionalness is another. But the way the guys are scoring, shooting a 3, you got 5 men, to your point, making plays at the top of the floor. There's more creativity. Back in the day, you had 2 bigs. Usually you're hovering around the paint, so you always had a low man. Now it's open, it's spread, so there's a lot more room to play, a lot more room to cut, and the way it's officiated is a little different. A lot of less freedom back in the day.
Right.
Now it's you got to move and chest the ball, get to the right spots early. Otherwise, it's deemed a foul.
Yeah.
Coach, you mentioned the youth movement. 6 players, 22 or younger, and the 22-year-old is Denny, and he's already signed a contract extension.
He's been around forever.
Congrats to him.
He's our longest tenure player.
Yeah, I mean, you got
Crazy.
That is insane.
You got Bilal, who just turned 19, like a guy from France who's just trying to find his way. How challenging is that for you with all the young guys and the churn on the roster like that?
You know what? We have to be patient, and I think there's a way to find small victories within, some of those moments, but we don't want to heap too much on these guys too soon.
Right.
It's going to take some time, and, there are going to be some tough nights, but I love the spirit and the vibe of this group. They're connected. They want to compete and play for each other. So I think, in those areas, we're off to a good start.
Yeah. When did you first see Bilal?
Pre-draft.
Pre-draft. And
in face-to-face. Yeah.
Yeah, but
you saw film
what
watching.
What did you like when you first saw his film? What jumped out at you?
Size, his length, and you realize the kid's 19 years old. You can't teach some of that. He's got a 7+ wingspan. And just to see where he was draft night through summer league, through September into now, he's adding, different facets of his game. He's showing a lot more composure and poise.
How do you make that projection where you go, all right, he's got the size and the length, and he obviously has the athleticism, so I know I can fix it. Like I can, you know what I mean? I can mold
you can project. Yeah, you can project some of those things, but, those things that you can't teach. His size, his ability, he's got great instincts, and I think, every day he shows us a little bit more. I think he can impact the game defensively. But to see what he's done offensively, he plays with composure and poise that's unique for a 19-year-old.
Just so you know, that guy over there, he's only 5'8". He scouted Koulibaly and wanted you guys to draft him before the draft.
I basically discovered him.
I
discovered him after everybody said, well, that's Wembanyama's teammate, and he's a stud too, and he's rising up draft boards. I was like, oh, I'm kind of intrigued by him.
Better late than never.
Maybe he looked good in a Wizards uniform.
So is he what's his role in your mind right now? I mean, obviously very young.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to get stronger. I think he had 9 minutes maybe in the first game. Are you going to kind of just ease him into that?
23, actually.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 23. Okay. You kind of have to just ease him into
I think
more of
as far as easing, it's, want to, of course, throw him out there, but give him a chance to have success.
Right.
At the same time, you want to push his threshold.
Right.
See what he can do, challenge him to defend different spots, play different positions. But his overall approach is we're going to be patient.
Right.
And, I think it's going to be a great environment for him. The player development piece this season and moving forward is going to be really something we got to dial into.
So you throw that Pacer game out, all right?
I can't throw it completely out.
Right. I mean, I know you weren't happy, but Memphis tomorrow, they lost their first game. I think they lost to the Pellies by 3. Zion had a big game. And obviously Ja's not there, but they got Bain. They got some players, Jaren Jackson Jr. So how do you kind of prepare for Memphis coming in?
Well, I think just their level of physicality.
Right.
That's been their calling card. And you had a guy, over the summer like Marcus Smart. Mm-hmm. He's going to, wreak havoc in the backcourt. So that mindset of hit first and being able to absorb some contact, we've got to be really clean in our coverages, but, our setups, all of that to create offense, our spacing. Jaren Jackson has done a terrific job protecting the paint, protecting their rim. So it's going to be a challenge for sure.
I wanted to ask you about one guy who helps you with your spacing. He's bounced around the league, but he's always been a very good player. He's averaged as much as 20 points a game, is Gallinari.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I noticed, I hadn't seen him in a while, looks like he's put on some LBs, but you guys have him playing
muscle. JP, it's muscle.
Yeah. Okay. But my point, look, I think when he came in the league, he was kind of a small forward.
And
you guys have him playing like the 5 now, right?
Well, to his credit, he's playing his first live action in 13 months. He's returning from a significant knee injury. So just to get him back to this point.
By the way, he could shoot regardless
he
of
could always shoot.
If he's 10 pounds heavier or 20 pounds heavier or not heavier.
No, he's been great.
Just an observation, Cakes.
Not only the shooting piece, I think what's underrated is the veteran leadership, mentorship piece for guys played 14 years in the league. Mm-hmm. I had him years ago in Denver. So great rapport. I think he understands.
He was thinner then, right?
Well, just so was I.
Exactly.
Hey, we all were.
Judgment-free zone here, fellas.
Exactly.
But, he brings all these different dynamics, and his ability, of course, to stretch the floor is going to help our spacing.
And it's a total different look. Like if he's playing the 5, you've got Gafford, who's a rim runner, shot blocker, and then you have Gallinari, who will create that space.
Correct. Yeah, and it's we're for Gaff and a lot of our more traditional spots. We've tried to play more positionless, especially in the flow. And I think that makes us tougher to guard. Hopefully we can continue to play with more tempo. We didn't do so the other night. We paid for it. But that's something that we've harped on. Those two areas hopefully will help, dictate our shot profile.
What do you think of the new load management rule?
I love it.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
Do most coaches probably feel that way?
I don't want to speak for everybody, but I would assume.
Probably,
yeah,
right. Yeah.
I think it's just one of those things, a little old school maybe.
Yeah.
But, you want to see guys and compete and play, take advantage of those minutes.
You don't want them to take off? I might want them to take off when we're playing them. You know what I'm saying?
No. I think they need the reps, and, you want to put your best players out there.
So I don't think we've asked him about Johnny Davis yet, right?
Nope.
Johnny, by almost all accounts, has had maybe a confidence issue when he first started, and then it really grew, and I thought we saw a lot of development by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
No, I think some of it's confidence. I think some of it's just opportunity. And he had that opportunity late in the year. But with any rookie, the speed of the game, the physicality of the game, it takes time. Unfortunately, he missed portions of the preseason with the injury, but to see where he was all summer, he's a different player.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's a different player. More confident. He's playing downhill, more aggressive. He's built up his body a little bit. He's added some weight, some good weight, and playing downhill with force.
Talking to Coach Wes Unseld Jr., head coach of the Wizards. So, obviously, this season different than last year because you have a new GM. We're going to have Will Dawkins on the show later. Kind of new front office. No Bradley Beal here. Porzingis is now with the Boston Celtics. What is your conversation like with your GM, with your bosses? Because it is kind of, I think, different expectations this season versus past seasons.
Yeah, no, there's different expectations. It's a different group. So I think they, kind of a bit of a youth movement, but the complexion of this group changes a lot. So we're not in a hurry. Obviously, we want to put, a good product on the floor. We want to be competitive, but it's all about more process than result.
All right, so Jordan Poole has been a guy in Golden State who came off the bench but still averaged 20 points a game. He is a scorer.
Yeah.
What have you learned about his game maybe that you didn't know from afar?
He's got more leadership ability than I thought. At a young 24, you forget he's played in big moments. He's played with, really high IQ players. And I think he's been able to extract some of that and bring it here to this group. He's shown that ability to, kind of mentor already, which is unique for a 24-year-old.
And Tyus Jones coming in.
Tyus has been good.
Yeah.
He's very steady. He's one of those high assist, low turnover guys.
Right.
There's a level of comfort and trust because he's going to keep us organized. He's going to get guys to the right spots. He's going to make the right reads. So he's like an extension of us as coaches out there on the floor.
Yeah, you mentioned his turnovers, 0.8 on his career.
He just doesn't turn the ball over.
It's
It's incredible.
A shockingly low number for a guy who handles the ball as much as he does.
And he's not risk averse, so
Yeah.
it's not like he just holds the ball and dominates the possession. He's willing to get off of.
I wanted to ask you if you watched any of Wembanyama's debut. What'd you think?
I watched a little bit of it, but he's unique. I mean, it is some of the things he does instinctually. I don't think we've seen before in a guy that
Who's
that
better,
size.
Holmgren or Wembanyama?
Oh man, we haven't seen Chet a lot, so I think small sample. Neither guy has played meaningful minutes in the NBA, but I'd probably give it to Wembanyama if I had to.
You would, but it'd be close.
It'd be close for sure.
I saw Holmgren get posterized by Andre Drummond the other night.
Yeah,
that was not a pretty scene.
Wembanyama's even taller and longer is the thing. Like for affecting a game on the defensive side, it's ridiculous. Like you can have a guy on the 3-point line and Wembanyama can be in the paint and he can go up, like take one step, he'll block the shot.
Few guys in the league can do that.
Yeah.
I can't believe how long he is. It's unbelievable.
But to have that length yet still have the agility.
Right.
The foot speed and quickness is
I mean, he called for an alley-oop. I mean, this clip went viral. It was basically like somebody setting a pick at the 3-point line, and he just pointed up.
Yeah, just throw it up.
Lob
there.
at the rim. And
Anywhere
he
in the
got
area,
it.
he'll get it.
Coach, I mean, I know this is not your deal. You're a coach, and you're an X's and O's guy, and you're not front office. But the money in the NBA, Cakes and I were talking about it the other day.
We covet. That's what we do.
Some of the guys, we were just throwing out random names.
We're very shallow.
Cakes was asking, all right, how much do you think he's making this year?
Mm-hmm.
And I almost fell over when I heard some of the money, some of the salaries of some of these guys who were just, kind of role players, guys who were averaging 8-9 points a game, and they're making $18 million a year, 20. I can't believe the money in the NBA.
Well, I mean,
It's nuts.
Well, I mean, we were talking about Tyus Jones. Okay,
Yeah.
he's a nice player. He's not starting on this team. I think he's making.
He started. He started.
Okay, but he's
He has been a role player his entire
Yes.
career. Yeah.
he's making almost $15 million.
I know.
Good
I
for
think
him.
it's
Good for Tyus. Good for
it's
that
great,
guy.
great for players.
No,
it's great for the
them.
league, and I
Yep.
think it just shows the health of the league right now as far as where it is.
No, I agree.
I would never.
Dude, are guys bitching about where their per diem is, even though they're all making it?
I don't think so, but I'm sure at least it's all about accounting, not what you make,
I
what
mean,
you
just
keep.
think what Magic and Michael would be making in 2023.
Oh,
For sure, and I'm sure somewhere
$60 million a year.
They're doing
30
okay,
years
though.
ago,
No, they're
someone
doing
said the
fine.
same thing about them.
Yeah. No,
Well, I mean, that's Giannis signed like a 3-year, $190 million extension.
I know. It's,
Yeah,
now,
so that's
Giannis
what
is a
this is.
superstar.
Well,
arguably-
you're saying what would Michael and
Right.
Magic? That's
what I'm saying. He's making $60 million a year.
It's good
and
living.
he was making like 3 or 3.5 until he signed those big deals.
He's done
for
okay.
30.
He's done okay. He's a billionaire.
No, he's worth $3
Figured
billion
it
now.
out.
He's worth $3 billion.
Yeah, but you get my point.
By the way, real quick before we let you go, are you Commanders fan? I forget. We've asked you, being like sort of local.
He was
or you
kind of
Ravens?
a Baltimore guy,
I am.
though, right?
I am. I'm a Ravens guy.
So you're a
He's
Ravens
a
guy.
Baltimore
Yeah.
guy.
Lamar's balling.
Smart.
Yes, he is.
Smart of you.
Yes.
We took. I think did we take the Ravens this week, or did we get talked out
Detroit.
of it? We took Detroit
Detroit,
this
yeah.
week.
In our survivor.
In our survivor pool. Okay. All right. Just want to get his take. Do you have an opinion on the Commanders and Howell and any of that?
I haven't watched them enough, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Obviously, this town is deeply rooted in the Commanders, so I know there's a lot of frustration here, but still early. I think they got a chance to turn it around a little bit.
Right.
What is the Wes Unseld schedule now? So you did your interview now. When does practice start? Like, how's the rest of the day look?
When's your nap? When do you fit in a nap like we do? When's that
I
happen?
don't get naps.
Oh,
No, series of meetings, 8 a.m. with the staff, 9 a.m. with the larger staff, pre-practice stuff.
Why?
Starts at
But why in the
9:30.
NBA? All right, are there so many guys behind the bench nowadays?
You need all those
like,
guys. How
like,
many coaches
honestly,
do you have?
When
We
your
have
when your
six-
dad had
six total.
6 coaches.
6 total coaches, but that factors in player development.
Yeah.
I think it's
I mean, it ain't cancer research. I mean,
we're not saving lives, but I will
Did
say
this start with Cuban? Like the staff
I don't
expansion?
know. Probably that same era.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Like Mark
necessarily
Cuban
say
started
him.
having he wanted to have a coach per player. Like when you say a player development coach, what is that coach doing different than your lead assistant coach?
They're spending a lot of time on the floor, and a lot of times these guys are younger, so they're able to kind of mix it up.
So working on specific moves, maybe
And
drills.
each player has an assigned bench coach who handles film, kind of the tactical stuff.
So it's almost like a tutor.
Yeah, tutor,
school.
teacher, but you have a lot of people. So there's 4 or 5 people that basically dedicated to each individual player.
who's your top dog when you go in the huddle or you call timeout? Who's your top dog?
Top assistant?
Top assistant that you respect. Listen, no disrespect. You respect his opinion the most.
I think it depends on what the question is. In all seriousness.
Like when you go in and say, what's going on? Like, I mean,
where are we going for dinner? That's going to change.
Yeah, that's different.
No, you're down by 1.
Yeah.
11 seconds
Who's
to go.
drawing up
You
the
have
play?
the ball.
I am.
you're drawing up the play.
Yeah.
Why
These
are
are
you
all
drawing
simple-
this up? I've said this a while.
Yeah.
Why is it drawn up at this point versus you've got your playbook
Mhm.
on a laptop and you just go, all right, boys, this
Yeah.
is what we're running.
Well, a lot of it is we've already drilled a lot of these actions. So
Of course, I
I'll make
understand that.
subtle tweaks to get certain guys in certain spots, depending who's available, who's in the game, and then knowing how that team's going to defend
Do
that
you
action.
consider yourself an X's and O's genius?
Genius is probably a stretch.
But you think you're very
He's
good.
very good.
I think I'm good.
You're
Yeah.
very good.
I think I'm good.
Are you
I
more?
mean,
Are you more? Are you more? Are you more
He
offense?
couldn't draw up a play for us to
No.
execute.
Are
Maybe
you-
Jason.
hold on.
Jason's a shooter.
Are you more offensive oriented or defensive in terms of your X's and O's brain?
I think I lean a little bit more toward the defense, but I'm a coach. So I think it's just having a healthy balance of both.
Do you ever? I know these are dumb questions, but I'm just fascinated by it. Do you ever, like, late in the game, go, I wonder what we're going to run now? Like, do you ever, or do you always have? Do you always know?
You always have something, and then the game flow and how it plays out, how they're guarding. So trust me, you'll have some moments like, man, nothing's working right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And you feel that it's a tough.
Right.
It's a tough feeling that you feel like you're searching, but you always go through and have, well, here's a switch package, here's zone package here, so you have all these things.
So in the
up.
NFL, all the offensive coordinators have their play sheets,
I have
right?
a play card.
So you have yours, and you're constantly kind of peeking at it throughout the game.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Do you feel like the guys are locked in? When I watch an NBA game, and there's a timeout,
mm-hmm.
all right, the huddle of coaches go to the middle of the court, right? The players are getting their Gatorade or whatever they're doing. Then the coaches come back. There's like 20 seconds left before they step on the court. You got your whiteboard. You draw up your play. I can't tell if the guys are actually paying attention.
I would say most the guys that are in the game.
Yeah, the guys that are in the game.
They're locked in. I think sometimes guys on the periphery.
You feel confident they're locked in all the time?
They better be.
Well, I mean, that's all you can ask them to do. Now, whether they go from the board to the floor and execute,
right?
Who knows? But no, I think guys take the craft seriously.
Okay.
And they want to feel confident in what we're doing. They want us to put them in good spots to have.
And like
success.
you said, you've drilled it a million times.
Yeah. So I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean it'll play out the right way, but
Did you guys restructure any of your coaches from last year to this year? Was there any restructuring?
Well, we lost two guys. Over the summer.
Okay.
There was kind of a lull in front office leadership, and guys had some opportunities that popped up.
Right.
And to their credit, it's always nice to be wanted. Other teams want to covet certain guys. So
right.
Those were difficult conversations because you never want to lose really good coaches.
And you lost them because they went to other teams?
Correct.
Gotcha.